Have you ever opened your banking app, stared at the number on the screen, and felt a strange mix of confusion and frustration? Not panic, not shock, just that quiet question in your head asking, how is this all I have left? You don't remember wasting money. You don't remember doing anything reckless. You went to work. You paid your bills. You handled your responsibilities. And yet, progress feels invisible. This is the experience most people never talk about openly. On the outside, life looks functional. You show up. You do what's expected. You appear responsible. But on the inside, there's a constant feeling that something isn't adding up. Savings feel painfully slow. Stability feels fragile. And that six-figure milestone people casually mention feels like it belongs to an entirely different category of human being. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The gap between people who build wealth and people who stay stuck isn't intelligence, luck, or income. It's structure. It's how money is handled when nobody is watching. It's the invisible decisions repeated quietly every single month. Reaching your first 100,000 isn't about a dramatic breakthrough moment. It's not about one perfect investment, one lucky opportunity, or one big raise that suddenly changes everything. It's about building momentum inside a system that was never designed to help you build it. What makes that first 100,000 so powerful isn't the number itself. It's what changes after you reach it. Before that point, money is reactive. You earn it, you spend it, whatever remains is accidental. After that point, money becomes active. Growth becomes noticeable. Progress stops feeling hypothetical and starts feeling real. Until then, every dollar you save feels heavy. It feels slow. It feels like effort with very little reward. And that's exactly why most people quit before they ever reach escape velocity. They assume the struggle means they're doing something wrong, when in reality the struggle is simply the early phase of momentum. Most people believe they'll start building wealth once life gets easier, once income increases, once debt disappears, once things finally feel stable. But that moment rarely arrives on its own. Life doesn't pause. Responsibilities don't slow down. Expenses don't politely wait for you to feel ready. Think about how people approach health. They wait for motivation. They wait for the right time. They wait until stress reduces. And because those conditions never fully align, nothing changes. Money works the same way. Waiting for perfect conditions is the most reliable way to guarantee stagnation. Most people try to save what's left over. That sounds logical on the surface. Spend what you need, save what remains. But in practice, this method fails almost everyone. Expenses expand to match income. Lifestyle quietly adjusts upward. And savings becomes optional, inconsistent, and fragile. This is why discipline alone rarely works. Discipline gets exhausted. Systems don't. People who build wealth don't rely on constant self-control. They redesign the flow so progress happens automatically. They don't ask themselves to be stronger every month. They remove the decision entirely. This is where traditional advice breaks down. Most advice focuses on surface-level behavior. Cut coffee, skip small pleasures, reduce minor expenses. Meanwhile, massive financial leaks remain untouched. Big decisions are ignored because they're uncomfortable to question. Real progress comes from addressing the biggest pressure points first. Not emotionally satisfying fixes. Structural ones. The first pressure point is direction. Money without direction behaves exactly like time without direction. It gets consumed by whatever is loudest in the moment. If money doesn't have an assignment, it will always find a way to disappear. Most people don't have financial goals. They have vague hopes. I want to be comfortable. I want to save more. These aren't goals. They're wishes, and wishes don't guide decisions. Clear targets change everything. When you know what you're building toward, spending decisions become easier. You stop asking, can I afford this? And start asking, is this worth delaying my future for? That single shift quietly changes behavior without forcing sacrifice. The second pressure point is preparation. Life isn't unpredictable. It's consistently inconvenient. Repairs happen. Health costs appear. Jobs change. Emergencies arrive. These aren't rare events. They're recurring events. When you aren't prepared, every inconvenience becomes emotional. And emotional decisions are expensive. Debt becomes the solution. Stress becomes constant. Progress resets again and again. The third pressure point is awareness. Many people genuinely don't know where their money goes. Not exactly. They remember the big expenses, but the small repeated ones quietly erode progress month after month. Familiar spending feels safe. But safety and affordability are not the same thing. Repetition is what makes small costs dangerous. The fourth pressure point is time perspective. Humans are wired to prioritize now. Immediate comfort feels tangible. Future consequences feel distant. So decisions tilt toward today while silently taxing tomorrow. This doesn't mean you shouldn't enjoy your life. It means enjoyment without boundaries eventually creates pressure. Balance isn't restrictive, it's protective. The fifth pressure point is habit normalization. The most damaging financial behaviors rarely feel extreme. They feel normal. They feel justified. They feel earned. Over time, these habits don't just cost money, they cost opportunity. Every dollar consumed is a dollar that never gets the chance to multiply. Debt is the sixth pressure point. Not all debt is equal, but most people never learn the difference. Borrowing to create future income is leverage. Borrowing to consume is compression. One expands options, the other limits them. The seventh pressure point is social pressure. Many purchases aren't made for utility, they're made for validation, to signal progress, to match peers, to avoid feeling behind. Ironically, people with real financial stability rarely feel the need to display it. The performance of success is expensive. Actual success is quiet. The eighth pressure point is priority order. Most people pay everyone else first and themselves last. Bills, lifestyle, obligations, and if anything remains, maybe savings. This guarantees inconsistency. Reversing that order changes behavior without relying on motivation. When future security is treated as non-negotiable, everything else adjusts around it. The ninth pressure point is fear. Fear of investing, fear of volatility, fear of making mistakes. But avoiding growth is itself a decision, and a costly one. Money that isn't growing is shrinking, slowly, quietly, invisibly. The 10th pressure point is income structure. Trading time for money has a ceiling. Without scalability, progress remains linear. Wealth grows faster when income isn't directly tied to hours worked. The 11th pressure point is education. Most people stop learning about money early and then operate on outdated assumptions for decades. Financial systems evolve, rules change. Those who keep learning compound advantages beyond returns. Here's the part most people miss. None of these patterns are permanent. They're learned behaviors, and anything learned can be unlearned. Wealth isn't built through dramatic moments. It's built through alignment. Thousands of small decisions pointing in the same direction. Systems outperform motivation. Awareness outperforms effort. When financial habits change, stress reduces, options appear, flexibility increases. The goal was never a specific number. The goal was control. The first $100 in isn't magic, it's momentum. And momentum rewrites everything that follows. Most people continue repeating familiar patterns because familiarity feels safe. But normal is expensive. Awareness breaks the loop. Your financial future isn't defined by your past or your income. It's defined by what you repeat next. And once you truly understand that, progress stops feeling uncertain and starts feeling inevitable.